Here's how you can make $350,000 in Halifax right now.
Quick deal breakdown.
So on market today in Dartmouth right now, it's a 6-unit property, 4 2-bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms, $125 a door, $750 for 6 units. Current rents are honestly on average sub $1,000. If you can buy that thing for asking price, I've done a ton of these. You can expect your rentals to be around.
Yo, define rap quotable, getting that attention. Got people asking questions because the line's that sociable. It's Mr. Market, oh, I'm that citizen.
All right, we're back. This is
segment two
of this week. We're here mid-April. This is Master Keys Podcast. I'm Chandler.
I'm Neal and Andreino. We had a new intro song today to highlight Chandler's very bright sweater.
No, shut up, Billy Hill. The interest of this song, or this week, was, I don't even know which one we put on there, but it's from a rap group that I was in called Something Good with my Boy Ill, who's one half of our key player of the week. So we're going to dive right into this.
Yeah.
Our key players of the week are Matt Boyle and Jeff Van Horn, two buddies of mine. Matt, I've known since we were little kids. You guys know them as, two of the best bartenders in the country, and they started out as working and being, I don't know what the proper term would be, but like the head bartender at some of the most highly regarded restaurants in the cities and bars in the cities, and then they've taken their work across country and in other establishments, and then they brought it all kind of back home here to Dartmouth. They started with their cocktail catering company called Clever Barkeep, where if you had an event, they would come and they would cater your event. They still do this. It's fantastic. You go to the biggest parties in the city, they're there doing custom drinks for your event. And then they built out like a brick and mortar spot cocktail bar in downtown Dartmouth called Dear Friend. It's my favorite spot. We've done some pictures there as a team. It's fantastic. These guys are super savvy.
Dear Friend is really good.
Yeah, Dear Friend is fantastic. Incredible business people. Done a really good job expanding. Matt and Jeff, we see you. I love you. They also both love real estate, man. They're interested in real estate. They've done some cool things. Jeff did a big reno. Matt's got some rental properties. They're just guys doing big things here in the city and in a very difficult industry, which is the food and beverage industry. And these guys
margins,
opened
very competitive
basically during COVID and launched a hot restaurant, and it's just continued to expand. They're now getting into canning RTDs, which is a thing I hadn't heard of. That was like R2D2 from Star Wars, but it's like ready to drink, these like pre-made cocktails in a can, and not just like, liquored flavored water, but we're talking like actual genuine cocktails in a can, high end, like just like you'd get it at a bar. And they're super savvy with that too, like partnerships, and they're going to roll it out. Like, I'm not going to spoil all the details, but like, if you're in the city, the Cucumber Ricky, it's fire. Check it out. That was a product that they rolled out in a partnership, but more coming from these guys. They're going to be big, man. It's crazy.
And if you check out Dear Friend, they have an espresso martini tap.
Well, the espresso martini's coming for the people too. You follow them out on Instagram, you'll see all this stuff.
It's a good pre-drink spot.
Yeah.
Hit the ferry, come across Halifax.
They're crushing it. Matt Boyle, Jeff Van Horn, Dear Friend, Clever Barkeep. They also have the cocktail bottling company. Like, our key players of the week. Let's dive right into some headlines. You got something else to throw at me. I got something I want to talk about. And then we're going to get into our deal breakdown.
Breakdowns?
We're going to break down a deal that's live right now. We're going to talk about that. We
want to focus these. We want to do too much news. So I'll save my headline for next week. It's not going to change. The buildings are still going to be there.
Well, I got a headline.
Depends how big a tornado or something comes in. But you have a headline you wanted to hit because I think we need to hit it because if you're a lot of local listeners, and it's something that I think takes place across the country. Yeah,
this is a huge thing that's going on right now, which is trying to figure out this unhoused situation that is becoming kind of twofold, not just kind of chronic homeless individuals, people who are just not able to find spaces in shelters, but also increasingly the new to country immigrants that have no place to stay and have been kind of being put up in hotels and all these things. So when I got married, which I think like 11 years ago, it was at it was at the Holiday Inn in downtown Dartmouth, right by the bridge. We're talking like right beside the bridge. It's a really great location. And a few years ago, it's actually changed brands twice since then. It's currently a DoubleTree by Hilton. And
Chandler's party destroyed the place.
Yeah. Shout out to Y-Rush, actually, who was the DJ in Something Good. It's all come full circle. He DJ'd that wedding. Dance floor was lit. You don't have to ask. It was lit. Anyway, so not that long ago, it was about 7 years ago. I can't remember that it traded hands. And it only sold for like $4 million, something like that, $4 or $5 million.
I know. I remember
for this
seeing
hotel.
it. I saw it.
But like the hotel industry is tough, man. They run a high vacancy, whatever. And at the time, they sunk
Ton
a
of
bunch of money
operating
into it to revamp it. So they renovated the
I
whole
had my
place.
prom there. Not to, sorry, an aside, but go
Right
ahead.
on.
Continue.
That
Yeah.
makes me feel old. But it was all renovated, et cetera, et cetera. As we know, during COVID, hotel stays were down.
Yeah.
Whole hotel industry is very, very competitive.
Yep.
And some of the higher vacancy hotels have been renting out floors effectively as shelters or short-term accommodations for going on, probably 18 or 24 months.
Yeah.
In some cases, almost like shadow shelters.
Yep.
This place had been doing that a bit while still running their quote-unquote normal operations.
Yep.
However, as of 2 weeks ago, at the time that this is coming out, they had notified all their staff that they were no longer going to be operating as a hotel. So I think they had about 100 staff. They're going to be laid off. And instead they have signed
100 staff. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Instead, they have signed a contract with the province to turn into a shelter. So this is a 196 bedroom hotel, downtown Dartmouth, directly from the bridge. Like we can almost see it from here. Recently remodeled, and they have signed a contract with the province. I don't know the terms of the finances on it, but
I guarantee the province is getting hosed. Like, I would place my bottom dollar that they are basically paying a room rate per night. Like, maybe a small discount. Well, because you laid off all the staff. So maybe there's a small discount because they're having to staff the whole thing.
So
But
the room
it
rate,
is
the discounted room rate would be $100 a night times 196 rooms, and you'd have to commit to probably the whole rooms. So you're thinking it's
$600,000 a month.
$600,000 a month. To
I would
pay for
not
that?
be surprised. Maybe $500,000 a month.
Jeez. So here is
covered all the staff,
here's
so-
the infinite wisdom of our people in political power. Right? Like they're paying that amount for a building that literally was sold for like $4 or $5 million about 7 years ago. And obviously hindsight's 2020. But if someone's job was housing minister of Nova Scotia 7 years ago, and they did not see this housing pinch, this rise in homelessness coming down the pipe, then shame on them, right? Because that's their one job. And so instead of, say, buying that asset and the dozens of others that were traded around the same time or since, they are going to pay, in your estimation, upwards of $500,000 a month.
Maybe not. My estimations, I don't know.
I estimated maybe they would pay a
300.
fixed rent of like $1,000 a month per unit times 200 units
Yeah, so I'm saying
plus some
300K.
staffing, right? So $200 to $300K a month.
Yeah.
For this building that at one point was sold not that long ago for $4 or $5 million. And that is the infinite wisdom of government. And that is the incredible spend. Now, it's an emergency situation.
I say it's an
but
emergency
my God,
situation. So how else can you bring 196 units to market that quickly?
well, you can't go back in time, right? But the whole point of having a government and paying them all these taxes is that they're supposed to plan
Forecast.
for the future, right? They have these mandates and they didn't do jack, right?
Craziness.
And the other thing about hotels is they come vacant, which is like the key thing to them.
It blows my mind. Government contracts in general always blow my mind. I see a lot of these things going out, and I'm like, holy shit, you guys. Same with the modular housing. Like, I'm like,
Oh my God, they paid.
I'm like,
for
you
the
guys
teeth,
paid that
man.
much
They
for those
got
modular.
They got
those-
robbed.
Yeah, they get robbed on every single contract that they ever do. Do you need to take
Yeah,
that?
I do.
Okay.
And again, like emergency situation, but like, how did we get in this emergency, man? The provincial government didn't build any public housing for half a century
They
of
put-
significance here in town.
I agree. They put us in the emergency. I do think it's not the worst idea in the world. I think they're getting hosed.
Oh, they're definitely getting hosed.
But I'm like, well, they're doing it. At the end of the day, room rates this summer are going to be psycho because there's already a problem with the hotel industry here. But and now the Airbnbs are gone and like another hotel. I'm like, it's going to be bad. And another building that was supposed to be a hotel in Bedford got sold to the province.
Oh yeah, I know the one you
And
mean.
so that's
Yeah.
another hotel off the market. Like, it's going to be room rates in Halifax are going to be fudged. Like,
Yeah,
it's going to be bad. One thing I want to add about that hotel, it's an aside.
it's a great deal.
It was an amazing deal because he came to find out that the back parking lot's going to be redeveloped in like 300 units.
Yeah,
So that in itself now is probably worth $10 million.
and he might be giving them a little discount on that room rate to make sure that thing gets fast tracked.
Yep. He'll be like, oh, whoa, look at the greatness I did.
Yeah.
Maybe we want 400 units back there.
Yeah,
It's something insane. It's 3 towers.
yeah, it is. It's 300 units, 3 towers. Yeah,
Anyways, this is an aside, but again, I will like I don't have much else to say on that other than that it's craziness. I think it's well, at least they're making the moves. In my head, I'm like they're making moves, so that part's good. Things are happening quick. I like that. Like even when I saw those modular housing units rolling down the road, I think they only closed that bid like a couple weeks, if not a month ago. So I'm like, that's pretty quick turnaround. That's exciting. The amount of money they're splashing out, kind of nuts. And realistically, there's a few business people that are going to make a fortune off of this, and that part pisses me off. And I think a lot of people that you see that are doing very well in a lot of cities in Canada are like, yeah, I landed a government contract, whether it was to build a school and rent to them forever at an insane price, or I sold a building to them for something. Like that's always been like in Canada are pretty much one of the best ways to make big money is you do what the government needs and they pay you out for it. And I guess so you kind of learn to feed into that. Anyways, my story about that hotel is on top of my prom being there. I thought it was the man. I drove my dad's Camaro up there. It was sick. But anyways, I went there once for a real estate course.
No way.
Yes. So one of my good buddies, that couple from Texas, Waco, Texas, that does the TLC flipping, the girl and the guy.
Oh, Armando Montalando? Is that his name?
I don't think so. She has a book, like a design book. I'm sure some listeners know. Chase and
yeah. Man,
Frig,
there's a bunch of them.
I have to look them up
No
really
way.
quick. I have to look this up really quick.
You went to one of those, you little sucker.
No, listen. Let's literally listen. Waco house flippers. They have the silos, the Waco silos. Have you anyone heard of this? One sec. Waco silos.
I don't know, man. There's so many
Magnolia Market.
Yeah.
HGTV stars Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Chip
and Joanna. Is it Joanna? Yeah, Chip and Joanna Gaines.
I think he might be
HGTV. They had a Fixer Upper
Canadian,
TV show. Then they bought some silos in Waco, Texas, which oddly enough, I was in Waco, Texas, and I went to the silos. And they were there, which is really crazy because it was shut down. I had no plans to do any of it. I was there for a franchise I bought. I was doing some training, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, long story short, they had an ad running.
And you went.
No, look. They got my friend. They got my friend's mom, actually. Oh. I'm not going to say who it was. I don't think he listened, so it's not really going to get, they'll never find out. But friend's mom was listening to it, and we were just getting into it at that point. Like, he probably owned one or maybe one property, and I owned maybe like 3. And she was like, "Oh, like you guys should check this out." She like flipped it over, and it was like a free thing on like just investing in real estate and like how to do flips and this and that. And Chip and Joanna are going to be there. I was like, "All right, cool, sick. Let's do this thing." So we sign up. I don't know if it costs money. It may have cost $50. I don't think so though. Anyways, it's down at that hotel. So we go down the day of, and like go upstairs, go into the little room, and it's got 3 sections of chairs, a stage with a screen, and then behind the chairs is like maybe 6 tables and like a bunch of paperwork and laptops and people would like basically sign up stuff. So you come in, you sign in, and then they had other stuff sitting there. Whatever. So you go sit down. I think we might have had name tags because we signed up online.
Of course you did.
Yeah, name tags are crucial. And the chairs are probably, like the middle section is probably like 60% full. Okay. There's people in every row, okay? And then a video starts playing, whatever. It's like a hype video.
Oh, let me guess. They didn't show.
Just wait.
Sorry, I spoiled it.
Just wait. So then, like the MC guy comes on. Mm-hmm. And this guy, I still to this day would say is one of the most well-spoken people I've ever listened to in my entire life. Like he, like as an MC, like he was just knew what to say, was quick and witty, like just super professional. And the part that was kind of hilarious is he kept saying every time he introed the thing, he said, "Hey, today we're gonna have Chip and Joanna here, blah 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 blah." Well, no, he didn't say it. It's a Chip and Joanna thing, blah blah blah. Then he went to, "They're not gonna be here," and I was like, I literally only came here because these guys are gonna be here, and it got me all fired up. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna be here for whatever reason, but they're gonna Zoom call in. And he was just so quick and kept going, and he kept saying, "I'm not a professional speaker," and I was like, "Why are you saying that?" And so he's like, "We're going to talk to them real quick and see. And today's course, we're going to go over these 3 things. And this is the whole objective of today, blah, 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 blah." Okay, cool, whatever. He's not a professional speaker. Then he sits down. Everyone's all like,
yeah.
Then sure enough, Chip or whatever comes in on a Skype call.
It's Jimmy.
Yeah, whatever, it's Jimmy. I got the vax. And it's like, but it was definitely a recorded video. Like, because the non-professional speaker guy, who was very much a professional speaker, would be like, "Hey Chip, how you doing?" Blah blah blah, and like the timing was just like perfect. Or Chip was like, "Yeah, it's really good." Like da da da. Like it just didn't seem.
Yeah.
He wasn't interacting with him, and so then every question he asked, like the answers were just like it was just
a little bit off.
Yeah, man, and it just seemed really weird. And And I was like, okay, this is definitely recorded. So then they got rid of Chip, and then the professional speaker guy kept doing his thing. But then once Chip left, he explained all of his stuff, and he's like, there's another course after this.
Of course.
Stage 2.
Yeah.
And you guys can sign up right now, and it's $299. And then if you do that, you can qualify. If you do well there, we'll take you on our $5,000 paid vacation course down in fucking Mexico, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so when they did the $299 course,
Your friend mom's like, her hand up.
she didn't come. It was just me and my buddy.
Oh, okay.
And then, so then they were like, yeah, all right, like you guys can go to the back right now and do it. Like we're taking a quick, like 5-minute intermission. So like, it was weird as hell, but like one person from every row got up and like filed into the middle, walked to the
You
back.
think they were plants?
1,000. Oh, and questions, and they were asking questions. These same people, sorry, they would raise their hand and be like, so you're telling me I can buy a house with no money down?
Oh my god.
And then Chip would be like, with our program, we can help you get in with no money down. And you do all those things. And then at the end, they said, we're going to teach you all this in the next course. And everyone was like, wow, okay. They asked all these really weird questions.
Wow, the plants.
Then they went to the back, and it was the loudest shit you've ever heard in your life, man. Like we were still just sitting in our seats, and in the back was like typing away. And they were like, yeah, so you want to sign up for the course and you would like to add your husband as well? Like they were actively like,
Yeah.
projecting what they were saying back there so that everyone else in the room could hear.
This is the
like,
other one they do. They go, do you want to change your life? Stand up if you are in control of your life and you want to take control of your life.
I think
and
we
be
might have
like,
stood
well,
up
I
a
guess
couple
I
times.
got to stand up. I was like, all right. And if you really want to take control of your life, just file on back there. We're signing you up for the course. And people are like, well, shit, man, I can't sit back down now. Like, I can't say like, on a second thought, I don't want to change my life.
They also use that technique. So that was also being employed. So then they sat back down, and my buddy and I
man,
were
I
like,
love
what the
this
hell's
stuff.
going on? Then they're like, all right, we're going to do a deal. So then your boy Chippy's back on the screen, and they're going over the deal. The numbers made no sense. Like, I'm quick at math, and I was very quick at math then. And so he was like, so we're going to buy the place for this. We're going to do this, sell the place, make $400,000. And I'm like, add the numbers on the screen. I'm like, those don't equate to 400 grand in profit, even with the numbers you just put on the screen. But everyone was like, and then at the end, and then we had another like a lunchtime break or some shit. And they were just like, all right, like anybody else who's now feeling like they want to sign up, now's the best time to do it because we're running out of slots, blah, blah, blah. And then another thing, it was like everyone stood up, and then a bunch of people filed to the back.
Yeah.
And my buddy and I are like, we got to get the hell out of here. And we literally like started walking to the exit, and they were just like, there's a person standing at the exit, people there. When we left through the exit of the ballroom doors outside, there were people. People were talking like, oh, like, did you sign up? It was so weird. I'm like, when would I ever go to a public place where there's 50 people or 100 people, and some rando would come up to me and be like, hey guys, did you sign up for the course? Sign up for the course. And like
that's
2 people asked us as we tried to exit after we left the ballroom. It was insane.
So one of those guys, that Armando
That's my hotel
Montalado
story.
guy who's like doing a similar thing.
Yeah.
He ended up getting sued.
They swindle people.
for basically swindling people, like promising stuff that didn't. Even like, Grant Cardone, who's got a good reputation, is facing some
No
allegations of
Swindling.
some swindling. A lot of gurus out there ready to take your money, but
It was intense, man. It was some serious pressure sales. And I think the lady sitting next to us was a bit older, and I think she was legit. It was her and her husband. And they were kind of serious, like, yeah, like we have like X amount of dollars, so we just sold our house and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're about to get swindled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are about to get swindled. They were so sold. They were like, I could see them watching everybody stand up and going. They were like, I could hear them talking. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys are plants or not, but you are getting your minds blown right now with a bunch of fake numbers and pressure. Like, it was epic. Anyways, this section got completely hosed because now we're supposed to be talking about deals.
Yeah.
Let's get into deals.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Quick deal breakdown.
Quick deal breakdown. So on market today in Dartmouth.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding. Quick deal today that's in Dartmouth right now. And this is the thing. There's still money to be made out there. Like you can buy deals on market that make money. It's a 6-unit property on Regency Drive. It's was at one point in time much more of a low income neighborhood, and it's converted to it's becoming more of a middle ground as time's going on here. And there's a lot of new development planned to be going around that area.
Yep. It's a big destination spot for new to country residents as well, like because some more affordable housing in there. So.
There's a lot of buildings in there.
Yep.
There is a 6-unit property. It's 4 2-bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms. It's purpose built. It's your standard
mid-century
brick
box.
building.
Yep.
So it's $125 a door, $750 for 6 units. Very reasonable.
Yeah, in this market, man, that's a solid offering.
Exactly. Current rents are honestly on average sub $1,000, but in the plus minus $1,000. So really, it doesn't make a ton of money as it sits, right? That's something to understand. But if you're interested and you're open to doing renovations, which again, it's not the most pleasant thing in the world, but it's part of the game and it's something that people have to do. If you can buy that thing for asking price, $750,000, I've done a ton of these. You can expect your renos to be around 300 grand, and that's going to result you in beautiful like vinyl floors, brand new kitchen cabinets, quartz countertops, all new bathrooms with like tile backsplashes.
Utilities
nice
on
vanities.
tenants at that point?
Utilities would be on tenants at that point. You'd rewire the building. Everyone would have their own separate meter. Window replacements as needed. Like you'll have a very nice...
A Hummin building with 4 2-bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, and if I were to buy that, it's because you'd be getting rid of the furnace, you'd probably be going electric baseboard. I would turn it into 6 2-bedrooms because the basement is large enough to hold the 2 bedrooms.
But potentially,
So I would turn that thing into 6 2-bedrooms right off the hop.
Or at least 5 2-bedrooms and 1 1-bedroom potentially,
Yeah, exactly. So you spend 300 grand getting there. The way they had that extra 1-bedroom was turned into 6 storage units. I don't know. Did you go in it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so that they had one area was like 6. You could
you can rip
easily
those
there is
out
a
too.
ton of
Yeah,
space.
yeah.
If you got rid of the storage lockers, 6 2-beds that are big, like they're nice, lots of closets. So anyways, you spend $300,000 there. You're into it now for $1,050,000. I always assume carrying costs during those times is about 10% of your overall
so
overall
30 grand.
spend. Well, we'll say overall spend. So we'll say $100,000. So now you're into it for 1.15. The end value on something like that, speaking from experience, is going to be around $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Plus minus. You can get an appraiser to stretch it and say 1.8.
Yeah, but that'll be 1.5.
But I'd say 1.5 is a very attainable number for that. If you go out and get a regular refi at 75%, that's $1,125,000. That is effectively giving you 100% of your money back, leaving you with $375,000 of equity and a 6-unit property, which will cash flow a little bit. The other option is to do a CMHC refi and get out 85%. It'll give you a 40-year amortization. It'll lower your interest rate by a percentage point.
Yep.
And you'll take out 1.275. So you'll probably actually pad your bank account by about $100,000 on top of whatever you've invested in the property.
And additionally, like you'll have a at that point almost a Class A product. It's mid-century bones, but you'll have done your major systems will be overhauled. You're probably looking at rents. What would you say for a 2-bedroom in there right now? New
1,700
at least, man. I think you get 1,800 there.
You probably could if you
Plus
take some
utilities.
time. Yeah, without a heat pump, probably 17. With a heat pump, maybe 1,750, 1,800.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you still have you're on a street where the rest of the product hasn't been turned over.
Totally, but that's that's one of the better streets there. A couple of them have gotten little facelifts there.
They definitely have. So assuming that on a CMHC refi, you can take out 1.275. I didn't know what the mortgage payment is going to be on that, but I would expect with all of your expenses and everything there, so you'd be bringing in over 10 grand a month basically. Yep. Your mortgage payment is probably going to be around $5.5 grand. Your other expenses will probably be another $2.5 grand. So you'll be probably cash flowing about $2,000 by the time it's all said and done.
Yep.
So now you have about $225,000 in equity. You have an extra $100,000 in your bank account. You own a 6-unit property and you're cash flowing a couple grand. It's going to be a project.
Yep.
It's going to take you 18 months to turn that thing over. Yep. But that's a deal that's on market today.
Yep.
By the time you listen to this, it's probably going to be pending.
Yep.
But there's money to be made out there. And I mean, I have clients that wrote on it. There was only 3 offers.
Really?
I expected a way more offers.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very reasonable price point. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people asking like $150, $160 a door for the exact same product. And it's like, what do you, like, there's no lift there. Like, that's that extra juice that makes it actually worthwhile. Because think about it, that's a lot of work that if you don't go the CMHC route on your refi, all you do is kind of get your original money back and you get to own the property. Like, that's a long walk for a short slide, right? Like, and if it's $150 a door, you're actually underwater on it. Like you're still leaving money in the property.
On the table.
Yeah, you've got a great product at the end of the day, man. But like you're leaving, at least, I don't know, a few $100,000 in the property.
This is a great deal if you have a couple $100,000 and you want to get into your first multi-unit. If you have a couple $100,000 you can pull out of your current house. Like this is something that you could do, and it's such a standardized product. It's nice because it's like a purpose built. My biggest asterisk and like the one thing I'd want to be checking into is an Enviro. That would be the only thing, just because a lot of these buildings, when they were built, for some reason, underground oil tanks were the rage.
Yeah.
The rage.
You know about that, 6 units with underground oil tanks. That's your bread and butter, bro.
Man, I've been digging them up. I'm digging up another one now. And so just that would be my only thing to consider. But otherwise, it's a pretty set standard deal. I have another one, but I want to go into your one that you have listed.
Yeah.
Which is Agricola. So
Yeah, so this is a property that a client of mine purchased off market. Really great location. It's about a pitching wedge to the Hydrostone kind of commercial district, which has like little shops and restaurants. The Hydrostone area is regularly rated one of the best neighborhoods in the country. So this is in a fantastic location. It also is zoned as of right for 3 units, specifically like 2 units plus a secondary suite. So my client purchased this. She's a really impressive person. She does a lot of redevelopment projects, a lot of high-end single-family new construction, a little bit of everything essentially, short-term rentals, flips, whatever you want to call it. She does a bit of everything. This particular project she purchased, we got it off market. It was previously used as a duplex. She took it to the studs and she had it all kind of remediated and prepped, and she had plans to either dig down or lift the property, put 3 units in there because she's working on other projects. We ended up putting it on market just to kind of see, well, if someone's willing to take the project on, great, we'll sell it. If not, she'll do it. So $500,000 the asking price. It supports 3 units.
$500,000 asking price. It's an amazing location. It's 3 one-bedroom units. But what are the numbers here? What do you expect?
Actually, you end up getting, I think, a 2, and a 1.
Oh, so two bedrooms and a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
You have an end value that's already been.
No, we haven't done an end value appraisal, but we know it'd be somewhere around like the 1, 2, 1, 3, depending on how high your finishes go. If you did a bare basic, even still, you'd be at 1, 1, but somewhere in that. She tends to go with a higher end product.
So technically, you could do it in a way. You might be able to get 80% out of that.
Yep. Residential, man.
It's
residential
a
3.
residential
you get a
unit.
residential mortgage on that when you're done at 80% loan to value.
And that's in a beautiful
Easy.
neighborhood. So right now, let's assume it comes in at 1.3 for the 3 unit. You're in the Hydrostone, which again, if you're not in Halifax, that's an up-and-coming neighborhood. Chandler refers to it a lot, but it's top comps, very great rents. There's a ton of development going on down there. The North End is where things are going to boom for the next probably 10 years. So at 1.3 end value, you're going to be able to pull out around $1,040,000. If you're buying that place for $500,000, you now have basically $500,000 to get the reno done
and pocket the rest.
And realistically, to build 3 units in an existing property, unless you go balls to the wall, it's not going to cost you $500,000. If you assume probably $120,000 a door to turn that thing over, you should be good. So 375, 400. So now, and then you add in I would say always add in the 10%. So that brings you up to 450 plus your 500. There's still about $100,000 worth of squeeze.
Yep.
And you also end up with $260,000 of equity. So here's another project that basically will make you $350,000.
Yep.
Right.
And like in that area, your rents are going to be just smoking. Man, like you could potentially, you do the right unit there, you could get 24 for a 2-bedroom plus utilities. Like you could do really something great there. And there's just like great options there because it's residential, so your financing can be a bit more simple. So yeah.
Here's another project I want to go over.
Okay.
Just going to keep hitting them. So here's another quick way for someone to make a few $100,000. It's a product that's on market right now. I actually had a client look at this, and then it just popped up because they did a price change. It's a 5-unit in Bridgetown, so it's outside the city. We always talk about going outside the city. It's 5 units. It's gutted. Same concept. Person already started gutted.
As built, like purpose built?
No, it was a house that had some extensions put on. It turned into a 5-unit. Now it's gutted out. The current owner has architectural plans done for the units for you. It's already partially framed out, and there's all new windows actually sitting inside the house.
Okay.
$90,000. Sorry, $95,000.
Okay.
It's on market for $95,000. There might be some negotiation room there. So if you then look at it and you assume if you do a very, very conservative end value, probably going to be around $550,000. But honestly, if you do income approach,
even there, that
$800,000-$900,000.
Yep.
But if you say $550,000, same thing. You can pull out 75% of that. That's going to give
actually, you can pull out 80 because there's lenders that'll do up to 5 units residentially.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So even there, so you pull out $440,000. There's a $300,000 spread there to finish completing those units. Now, the tough part is those units are still going to cost the same amount of money to finish outside of town, but you can get them done because they're probably going to be a bit smaller, and there will be some cheaper labor and stuff like that.
I also think you can push that appraisal big time. I don't care if it's Bridgetown. You got 5 units, man. That's 5 brand new units. That's $600,000 on an appraisal all day.
Exactly. That's the thing. If you have 5 brand, I agree with you. I think it's probably even 140 or really probably like $700,000 as an end value. So you can pull out $500,000. It gives you $400,000 to do the units. You'll probably spend $350,000. Be the same concept. We said a 6 unit you can get done for $350,000. So you're going to end up making $200,000 on that property instantly because you're going to pay $100,000 for it. You're going to spend about $350,000. We'll say with costs and everything. So you're going to have $450,000, and it's conservatively worth $550,000, if not $7,000.
Yeah.
So you could easily make
And again, you pull
$250,000
80%.
and it's completely vacant.
Yeah.
So this is something that if you just put in the grind, this is
Same
something
with
you
the
could
vertical
turn
one, man.
over.
You can start this thing tomorrow.
You can start this thing tomorrow. You could be done it in 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
And have it fully rented out, and you make $250,000.
Yeah.
So just there's there's always opportunities out there. I think the idea that we're trying to get with this is like, don't lose steam. You just got to pick and choose, and the deals are starting to come up, right? Like 4 months ago, we said, is the Burr model dead? Or maybe not 4, maybe 3 months ago. And that's because rates were up and everyone was holding tight. They're like, no, we're not moving on prices. But now a lot of people are getting renewals. And they're like, you know what? I don't really want this. I'm rent capped. I'm getting a renewal on my mortgage. All my expenses went up. Even at my low mortgage, I don't even really make any money at these low rents.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, why am I even carrying this? And realistically, they all know if rates and things stay like this, they might not be able to make a lot of capital appreciation unless they go out and do all the work that you have to do to make the money.
Yeah.
So like, well, you know what? I made my capital appreciation over the last few years. Realistically, if I don't touch these units, they're not going to run up in value over the next couple of years. So I might as well cash in now, take my money and move into another investment.
Yep. Move into something that returns a little bit better. So we're going to do a couple more of these deal breakdowns in the coming weeks. If you guys find that interesting, please let us know in the comments below. Also, if you see a deal and you want us to break it down, send it to us, man. We'll take a look at it. We'll do it on air.
Yeah.
If you're curious about all these refinances and the financing to do this work and the cost and all that stuff, check out the Patreon because we do break all that down, including construction financing. Just put one up there recently on construction financing, which I actually am doing for like existing current projects. So I walk you through all that. So take a look at that. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks so much for watching the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. Don't forget to subscribe. But also check us out on Instagram and TikTok. You can find all the links below. Thanks again for checking us out.
Broke, I had rich habits. When I was broke, I had rich habits.